Wait. Yeah. We see everything? What if it's... Okay, that's weird. Oh, that's too much. 1 second. Let's try that. That shows the whole thing. Kind of like yesterday. Or the day before. Cool. Very cool. All right. Let me just get... power strip. Okay. Be right back. Is the chat on? I don't see it. Oh my goodness me. Hey, whoever's there, if you don't mind saying something, I would love to see if the chat's working. I don't know if it's... could just be me. If it's not working, I'd have to restart. What do I need? Just the power strip. Okay, that's it. Oh, it's working. Hey! Thank you. Catalina, is that you? Yeah, this is the one that I was talking about a couple... okay, good. Thank you. This is the one that I got when I was just a teenager. And the one next to it, the yellow one, is the one that I just got about 5 years ago. So this one, it holds a special place in my heart because it's the first one I ever got. At the same time, it doesn't have the same kind of power and potency that the yellow one does. The yellow one's like a real rock drum set from the 90s. And so I use the red one if I need to for smaller gigs or something like that with a softer sound. And the yellow one, yeah, that one's for like real business. I'll be right back. I need to get a power source for my phone so it doesn't die on me. Let me just... there we go. That might be a little bit better. Okay. By the way, I hope that your ride went well. I know that you had to cut out early last time, but do you guys ride like almost every day kind of thing? I bet you guys have some nice views as you go riding along. It's so relaxing. I've only ridden once, but there's a nice feeling of ease and just relaxation when you're on a horse, and as long as the horse isn't too crazy or whatever. So it should be in here. And then we have... okay, that's that. Okay, this should work. And I really apologize, everybody, because I had meant to do this about 10 minutes or 15 minutes now earlier, but it really just... time got away from me. You know, it's not a good excuse, but I had a meeting with my band, and so we were playing a song in the studio. We got to record today. At least the drum tracks are all done, and then they got to do the guitars and bass and keyboards, and so they got to do that. But yeah, it was a good time. It's always a good time in the studio. Just a little bit crazy at times. Where is this? I guess you should go there. Okay, steady. Nice. We are charged up. The charger works. All right, let me just... it's working. It did. Horses did great. I ride by myself most of the time, but I love riding with my dad. Yes, the views are awesome. Where we live in New Mexico, the mountains are right. Oh my goodness. They're right next to you guys. That is so cool. And my week has been good. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it's been nice because in the summer, I don't know if you're studying as well, but I'm in college right now, and summer classes are a little bit more compressed, and so they're hard to maintain. They're hard to keep up, but they're also, they're compressed, and so they're a little bit shorter. I'm almost done with my math class, and I have speech, and then I have drum lessons also for the rest of the summer semester. So everything's been going good so far. It's a lot of math, though. It's a lot of math. Oh well, I don't need these. At least for now, they can go over there. And my books. Oh, I left my books at work again, didn't I? All right, we'll have to do some of these by memory. Odyssey. Odd is way. Oh my goodness, man. What you doing eating buses? You know that's not good for you. That's all good. You personally don't like math? Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough. I gotta warm up here. The thing is, math is really, really practical. But if you just study a bunch of formulas, which I'm doing now, it can get a little dry at some point, right? And so it is what it is. But math is very, very practical. Obviously, we need it when we play the drums. We can't avoid it. We can't ignore it. So we need it. But a friend of mine joked, I don't do math. I just count to 4 and sometimes 6. But no, we needed a lot more than that. Let me just see you guys from this point of view because it'll be a lot easier to maintain consistency with the chat. But I'm sorry about the delay. I'm really sorry because that wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to get back home at 3:15 Central Time, and the studio session went long. So, but it's all good. And I don't know. I'm gonna double check with my band leader to make sure that this is okay. But I would love to kind of advertise or tell you guys what we're about. We are doing a lot of original content. In fact, most, if not all, of our songs are original music. And then we do. We would like to do some bands or some shows as a band, but we haven't been able to do that. We've only been able to do studio work. So when people ask me, "Oh, what kind of band are you in?" I'm like, 70s Christian rock, and all of our music is original, and we've never played live before. I'm like, yeah, are they really gonna believe me? But that's what that's what we're about. So really, really nice guys, and I really enjoy playing with them. But it's a whole different ballgame than what I'm used to it in college. So let me just I'm gonna switch here. It's a whole different ballgame. Okay, is that? Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything because sometimes the delay is okay. We're good. All right. Yeah. So we wanted to. I didn't put an agenda for the stream today, but I think you might know at this point what the agenda might be. NJ Souza, yo, what's up, my man? Good to see you again. Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for that recommendation. Story of My Life by One Direction. I know, like you said, it doesn't have a lot of drums, but I hope you liked it when you saw it, and just really, it's a lot of fun to play around because when you improvise, you can be. I know what they should have done in this. Like you don't want to do over the top or anything, but it's still a lot of fun to think about what you might want to do, right? I just hope that you guys liked it. So anyway, yeah. Oh, we wanted to warm up. Yeah. Again, the silly seal clap, but it's necessary. I was just playing, but man, it's hot today. I don't know how it is in New Mexico. I don't know how the rest of the world is for you guys who are watching online, but it is hot in Illinois. It's 91, I think, and if you're like in the sun, it feels like 95. It's crazy right now. It was goated for sure. Sweet. Then I know mission's accomplished. Okay. But yeah, no, it's really hot though. All right, I'm gonna get warmed up with some rudiments. We're gonna talk about what we're gonna do today for the next hour. Feel free to stick around, but no obligation. And if you like what you see, please like and subscribe and share what you see here. So it's 98 degrees. That's insane. It's pretty much 100. Let's just round it, right? Oh my goodness. Yes. One of my favorites. One of my favorites is one that my student just did for our annual drum recital. It was called Safe, and I can't do. I'm working on that, but doing both at the same time is like, Lucas, you're a drummer. Can't you multitask? And well, I'm supposed to, but it's hard. Anyway, one of my students for the annual drum recital just did a song that Phil Wickham did when he first got noticed by the K-Love viewers of the early 2000s. Oh my goodness, I'm dating myself. This was back in 2009, I believe, or 2008. It's almost 20 years, but Safe was the song that my student did by Phil Wickham, and he was helped a little bit, right, because this is early on in his career, by Bart Millard of MercyMe. So it's a great song. I don't know, Catalina, if you know that one, but Safe by Phil Wickham and Bart Millard is a great, great tune. In fact, it has one of the beats that I could show you guys today. That was one of my formative beats when I was growing up, because I had heard that beat from another song by Meredith Andrews. Again, I'm dating myself because she came out with her song, Not for a Moment Will You Forsake Me. That worship song was like in the early 2010s. Or was it late 2000s again? It was one of the two. But yeah, great, great stuff. You know that one. Yeah, it's a great, great tune. And it's weird, right? Like after almost 20 years, Phil Wickham still sounds the same. Is that a little bit what our generation might call suspicious or suspect? I don't know. I think it is what it is, right? Because if you have the technology to make your voice sound timeless, I think that's what the viewers or listeners want to hear. They don't want to hear somebody age quite as fast as they might seem to be, to themselves. So I noticed this with Matthew West as well. If you look at his album, his first one that got big, right, in 2003, called Happy, and that one had huge hits. More, Happy, The Lie, My Finest Hour. I mean, all of those songs are great, but his voice, great. It sounds the same, though, about 20 years later. What do you make of that? Well, Matthew West is, Matthew West. He's always going to... but it's interesting how technology makes us, a lot younger than we are. I don't know. Everyday Hallelujah is my new favorite. Yes, he still sounds amazing. It's what it is, yeah. Total Tech 8246. Man, what is that? Hold on a second. I thank you for coming on, but let me just check. What in the world are you talking about? That's okay. Let's not make fun of anybody who has this condition, but I see what you're saying. I feel like my whole life I've had something, but I don't know what it is. Don't judge. Asperger's. Yeah, that's interesting. Asperger's syndrome. Diagnostic category for a neurodevelopmental condition characterized by significant difficulties in social interaction and nonverbal communication, along with restricted and repetitive patterns of behavior and interests. Was first described by Hans Asperger in 1944 and popularized by Lauren. Why am I reading this right now? Well, if you put something in the comments in the chat, I'm going to read it. And if it's not obscene, explicit, or anything crazy, we're going to talk about it. Now, if you have this condition, I'm sorry. I wish you all the best. If you're telling me that I have this condition, I don't know if I like that, but I'm just kidding. It's fine. I think every musician has some sort of ADHD, or it's just, oh my goodness. All right, I gotta go back to practicing. Yeah, I don't. I like "Don't Stop Praying." That is a great song. I told my parents. I told my sisters when I listened to that, and I heard this just a couple months ago. It came out like 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my goodness, he still got it. It's that same kind of rock vibe, and he's killing it. Matthew West is still keep. My friends and I in the band, we used to joke a lot. Keep it real, or keeping it real. He's keeping it real. He's really keeping it real. Play Shotgun. Now, I don't know about Shotgun because if that is a song or if that's a band, could you specify Jensen F4H? I don't know if Shotgun is a. Let me know. Is that a song or. We can check it out. I'll leave it there. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah, single stroke roll. So tomorrow I'm going to be playing, I think that's good for now, my soca beat and a little bit more of maybe Latin stuff on the drum set at work. So tomorrow's the big day. If you guys have, let's see, actually wait. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a half day of work. We're going to have to play here on the drum set again. I wanted to play over there though. But hopefully this will work. I'm going to be playing the soca beat anyway, whether today or tomorrow. And hopefully you guys have seen some improvement. And for sure, on Monday, we'll see if we can come back and we'll do it. So yeah. But a little bit of the agenda. I'm sorry I didn't provide this in the description of today's video. But the agenda for today is to talk a little bit about what we talked last time, and then to go on from there. I think I provided a poll, but I don't know if anybody was interested in responding to the poll. I have to double check now. Yeah. Okay. What genre would you like to talk about in the next couple of live streams as part of the content? Country, lo-fi, rock, or jazz? So I gave some options. I guess nobody really took the bait. Anyway, my other post was, again, I just want to reiterate, if you didn't see it, I want you to hear it. Thank you so much to everyone who has been a part of this ministry so far. About a year now into this channel, and I really appreciate your support, your likes, and your shares. I notice everything, as it comes through in the feed, and so I really appreciate it. If you guys, again, like what you see, share and subscribe, so you have, about a couple friends or family members you might think would be interested in some musical content and some conversation. That's what we're all about. And so, yeah, we're going to take a look at, let's make sure we're back on track here with the chat. We're going to take a look at some of the things that we were talking about last time, and that was a specific rudiment or two for a gentleman who I think is overseas, and he was a metal, and he is a metal kind of musician, so that's something that's a little bit out there for me as a more of a pop rock, blues, and jazz drummer. But there is something I think I could share if he's tuning in now, and if not, I hope that he'll be able to at some point. And the rudiment's simply this: the double stroke roll. He wanted to work a little bit more on his hand coordination and execution, or the, what would you call it? Not execution. I'll think of it at some point. The alignment, right, of the execution. Make sure everything's nice and solid. So, double stroke roll. And what that is it's helping you to develop some real coordination and alignment with your doubles. So if you're wondering how to do that, the Moeller method, developed by, and I've mentioned this ad nauseum, but this guy's amazing with what he did for us as drummers. Mr. Sanford A. Moeller, was the one who developed this technique because he noticed that the drumline drummers were playing really fast and really easy. Like, how can they play that fast and be so comfortable and at rest? Because it's like they use half of their energy to play twice as fast. Well, the reason is because of the rebound. So if you take a regular stroke, right? That's a regular stroke with wrist involved all the way. If you use a double stroke, though, now you are forced to use the wrist both ways for both of the hits, right? Hey, that's a hint at 20th Century Fox. Anyway, the hits, though, could be used with the Moeller method to help with your fluidity and relaxation so you don't have to work as hard. I can't do it with my left as well, but you get the idea. And so, with that in mind, it becomes a lot easier to play fast. You don't have to work half as hard. So, yeah. Oh, what's the post? Hey, Holy Ground 1, hi, I missed your comment. I hope you're doing well and good to see you. And I hope you stick around for some musical content today. If you like what you see, share and subscribe. That is great that's what is great is that you are intentional. People want, and thank you, Catalina. I really appreciate it. But it's what it's laid on my heart, recently to just provide this platform and for as long as we can. Do this, be able to talk freely about music and what kind of music inspires you and what kind of music moves you and everybody else around the world. And the wonderful thing is that we have the technology to be able to do that, So, is that from that old book you had for snare drumming? What? That is. I don't have it with me today. Can I do what? Oh, the 20th Century Fall. Okay. So here is the actual 20th Century Fox. This is actually a cool combination of not just rolls. Specifically, this is for my musical nerds out there. Catalina and Jay, I know you're musical. And this is just simply called a closed roll because you're not allowing the notes to be open and understood. The opposite would be open roll, where every note can be discerned, every note is specific, right? That's the open roll. The closed roll is when everything becomes mushy. It's easier on the ribs because when you get to the center of the drum, it deadens the sticks a lot, so it's easier to bounce off of the sides of the snare. Yeah. So something like that. Now, to answer, yes, the 20th Century Fox uses the closed roll, yes, and not the open roll, and they use flams to help accentuate those hits. Bram, 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 closed roll. Bam, bram, bram. Here we go. There you go. So it's as simple as flam, 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 roll, flam, flam. Man, that thing never gets old. And then the trumpets, yeah. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, it is from that old book. Sanford Moeller is not even. He's kind of just alluded to because of the technique that he discovered in stick control. And in stick control, it was written by George Lawrence Stone. Mr. George Lawrence Stone himself was a great percussion player. But he wrote that book to help with his students, I believe, and just provide a Bible for drummers out there who want to work on their rudiments. I believe my copy, it's like from 1935, but then again, it doesn't look like it's from 35. It looks like it's a little bit newer. Maybe like a reissue of the original copy. Anyway, but yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what we want to do on the drums now. And I hope that that made sense for those of you out there wondering about what to do when you want to play faster. Use molar. Not your molar, use molar. But the drum set now. What we can do is we can play the beat that we were talking about earlier from Phil Wickham's Safe, which also happens to be quite similar to the beat from Meredith Andrews' 2010 or so song, Not for a Moment Will You Forsake Me. Both songs share a very similar pattern. So it's interesting. Let me see if I can move this over there. And I'm just going to turn off... No, I don't need to turn anything off. I don't think so. It'd be nice if the camera got a little bit closer, though. Yeah, maybe I'll do... Okay, just bear with me for 1 second. Bruh. I just realized I had muted myself this whole time when I was moving the camera. I'm so sorry about that. Oh my goodness. You just missed it. I was talking about my plans to conquer the world. I'm just kidding. Okay. What are my plans for the 4th? You know, I have to say, and we might have to talk about this in depth now, but here's the deal. You guys have probably heard that there's a new movie coming out about George Washington. My sister and I think, are going to see that. It's a really interesting movie. At least it looks like it from the trailer, because it seems like they're taking a very historical approach to George Washington. Like, we know him from when he was a general, but the fact that we're going to be given an account of his early life as a soldier, who may not have been the brightest bulb, right? And that's kind of intimidating, right? To take on. But I hope that they do a good job. I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to see that tomorrow, and when it premieres. But I wonder, are you guys going to see that as well? We on the 4th. Oh, and then we got to go see my family. They live about 40 minutes away, and we're going to get... It's a big get-together on the 4th, usually. So, yeah, it's a lot of family, a lot of food, and therefore, a lot of fun. I'm just kidding. It's not about family and food that makes it fun. It's about faith, for me, and this country. Really, 250 years is huge. I thought it got quiet. Yeah. Young Washington, we are going to, Lord willing, on Sunday. Awesome. I'm so glad you guys are checking it out too. We're going to have to exchange some thoughts, with the other viewers, Catalina, about what this is about, because again, it's a daunting task. How do you talk about his young life in an objective light, without deifying him or whatever, because he is just a man, obviously he was miraculously preserved, I believe, because there's that account or more, of many shots going through his jacket, and he was not hurt. He was bulletproof, basically. If you guys are, I know this is off topic, if you guys are looking for a good book to read about George Washington, that's not even that big. It's only about this big. It has a lot of accounts based off of the documents at that time. It's The Bulletproof George Washington, written by wonderful historian of American history, David Barton. This book I read about like 10 years ago, and it opened my eyes to some crazy, crazy documents that have been preserved that he actually has in his personal collection. And he talks about how it was just insane. A lot of Indian chiefs were confirming later on from those battles that they had hit him with their guns, but they apparently didn't do any damage. Multiple horses shot from underneath him. Nothing going on. I mean, like, that's God, that's all God. So it's really insane. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So the beat. Now the beat, the beat basically, if you read that book, you must be homeschooled. I read it. All. Have we not talked about this yet? I'm sorry. Yes, I was in fact homeschooled. How did you? And there you go. And we're really, David Barton has done so much to preserve our history, as I'm sure you know. It's amazing, all these documents, really fascinating stuff, and yet nobody talks about them. Like, this isn't the channel for that. I have another side to myself when it comes to like presenting my political beliefs and ideas and all that. Maybe once in a while we'll talk about it, but it really, it's, I don't know. So yeah, you were homeschooled too, then I take it. Really cool. So just for grins, the beat for Safe and the beat for Meredith Andrews, both similar beats. And this was a beat I'm really, really happy to share with you that I learned when I was first playing a real drum set. In fact, I think I learned the beat before I even was given this drum set as my birthday present when I was like 12. The beat was something like this. We'll have to work with that. But yeah, that's the beat that I learned when I was like 10 or 11. And I was cruising on a little toy drum set. But when my parents got me this drum set, that's when I really started exploring. And I believe, let's just look up Meredith Andrews really quick. You don't mean to go off topic. Oh, that's what homeschoolers are all about. We love talking about off-topic things like, hey, whatever. And we go crazy. Meredith Andrews was actually the worship leader for a church that we attended just a little bit. We didn't go there permanently, but we were checking it out, and she happened to be a worship leader right in Chicagoland, which is crazy. It was cool to see somebody that you hear on Caleb. But yeah, Chicago is a huge hub of great musicians, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised. I know, like, you see a lot of great musicians in Chicagoland, and maybe in New York, in Tennessee, in Nashville, in California, maybe even Florida. There's some great musicians all across the U.S. I have to look it up somewhere. I'm not going to find it there. Not for a moment. You were reaching through the storm, walking on the water, even when I could not see. I don't think you can hear this. It's like the bass is in the background. It's almost like that kind of cinematic style where it's like it's a beatbox or almost like it's muffled. Right? You hear that in the background. You can't. You can. All right. That's the chorus. Let's just skip to the second verse. I think is when they come in. It's so nice. I'll try to link this in the description if I can focus, if I can remember this at the end of the stream, and I'll play it. You can play it on your own, and the beat is so tight. It sounds so good. It doesn't sound good here, but. It's so punchy. You know, I'm playing it softer right now, but it's punchy and it grooves really well with the song. Now, to compare, right? To go back, sorry, this has been a whole huge tangent for you, Catalina. I'm sorry, but this is to answer your question. Can you play some Phil Wickham? I think I can. And Phil Wickham's Safe is really similar to this. Yeah, this is what my student did. We'll go to the chorus, I think, is when it comes in. No, it's verse 2 again. Verse 2. Why is there a pattern here? It's because 2000s and 2010s Christian music had a very distinct sound. I miss it so much, man. If I put it here, hopefully you guys can hear it better. But leave it right here. Did you know that the voice that brings the dead to life is the very same voice that calls you not to rise? Right, it's there. The drummer is adding one more bass, right? Basically, what I do is I like to talk about this with my. Okay, that's way too close. I like to talk about this with my students, my elderly people that I minister to when we do drum circles. Basically, if you were to take a look at oh man, yeah, no, it's a great song. It's a great song. If you take a look at the beat, you can simplify things with just your drumsticks. And you can take a look at the bass by doing so. That's so good. That's so good. But yeah, so we'll head over back to the drum set. And then that's what happens is if you take any beat, you can just play with your drumsticks and see if you can play it, you know, and you go from there. I'm going to close this for now. But it's a lot of fun. It's so fun to hear these songs and you're like, oh, I'm going to turn this just a little bit more so you can see more of the... There we go. It's so fun to hear these songs where you're like, oh man, I've heard that beat before. I think I know how that goes. All of a sudden, and I'm sure you guys know this too from playing your instruments, right? You guys hear the same chord progression over and over again. You guys hear the same kind of strumming pattern, maybe for guitar. You guys hear the same kind of riffs, right? Maybe for keyboards, even bass guitars. You know, you recycle these and you use them again and again. And it turns out to be really attractive when you do that. Why? Because people can grab onto something that they've heard before. Maybe even subconsciously, like, I don't even know where I heard that kind of thing, but they know what language you're speaking. And I think that's what music is so popular. Music is so powerful, because it's a language. We got to learn how to speak it. So anyway, the difference... Meredith Andrews, Phil Wickham, one more bass. And there you go. Now, if I had to embellish this, and I might do this, if this is going to be a request at some point in the shorts, I can embellish this a little bit for you guys and post it there. I would use 16th notes on the hi-hats instead of 8th notes. Why? Because it gives a little bit more flow, continuity, glue to the beat. And what am I using for that? You guessed it, that's Molar. Molar helps you to flow really well when you do that. Touch bounce, touch bounce, touch bounce, touch bounce, or tap bounce, tap bounce. Where do you know? So yeah, I don't have eyes with me, right? I can't see what's going on over there, but that's a little bit of Phil Wickham, a little bit of Meredith Andrews, and a little bit of rock and Christian music from like almost 20 years ago. Man, that's scary to think about that. Moeller the GOAT. Hey, you know what? Moeller really was the GOAT, man. I tell you what. NJ, you are hilarious. No, I'm here to vote for you. I'm sorry. NJ and I go way back. So the reason, if it seems like I'm too harsh on. Okay. Are we good? I cut out there for a second. Let me know. Sorry about that. I was just saying, if I'm too harsh on NJ for whatever reason, I'm sorry. It's just because him and I go way back. We're good? Okay. Sorry about that. I think somebody else just joined. Let me just double check. We good. We good. All right. Hey, working on doubles at my wrist strength. That's awesome. PA Brew News. I'm so glad you could join us again. Good to see you. And so, you know, I was actually we were talking about you just a couple of minutes. Maybe it's been more than that. I don't think you can see this. I'm going to show you one more time. I was demonstrating something that I think you wanted to see, but I don't think you were with us at that time. We're going to try one more time. Perfect. I think that will work. Okay, cool. So, I know that you're a metal guy, and that is insane. That is really cool because what you guys do is outstanding work. But here's the thing: with your feet, you know, with your hands, there is something that you can do for both set of limbs, and I would just use molar. And NJ was just talking about how goated molar was back in the day. Molar is that technique that I'm sure you've heard before. You can use to apply to your hands. You can use maybe even to an extent to your feet. But again, doubles, right? If you think about doubles, then using a little bit of molar, if you will, with your feet work, and so you don't have to use your entire ankle the whole time as you're stomping on the base. You know, you work on maybe a little bit of like a tap. So sometimes I use this. It's like a tap, and then it's like a rebound. You let the pedal bounce back a little bit back to you, so that you can use it again for a second hit. So it's a little bit of cheating, but it's molar basically on the feet. And if you use that for both feet, that would sound like thunder. Awesome, right? And so it's the same idea. Now, if we're talking about hand control, though, I do know a little bit of that. And so you could use a little bit of molar, and that goes along with, I think you can see that, yeah. And what happens is, so molar is tough at first because you are having to use a faster technique for less work. And so it sounds funny, but if you play molar slow, it's actually going to sound, it's going to be very difficult. So it's going to be like, if I had a slow molar down in slow motion, that's what it would be like. That's not really doable, right? So you got to work. So first, work on the regular hand strokes, right? And then step 2, take a look at molar by itself. Practice rebounding so you understand how that function works. And then you take a look at how you can control those to get 2, 3, even 4 rebounds at will. And 5 is my limit. There. Yeah. So it gets fainter as it progresses, but that's the idea. And then step 3, you take molar and you work on it slowly so you can go as fast as you can, You know what I mean? So that as soon as you can hit that threshold of engage that gear of molar, you can play it, and it's a lot easier than if you were to try to play it slow. For me, it's around here. Now I'm already using Muller at that point, right? And then you're off to the races. Yeah, so something like that. I think that helps. But let me know if it does, and I hope it helps. So yeah, we're gonna. Oh, I just gotta restart this. We're gonna, I think, pick this up again next week, like in 2 days. I don't think my brain can handle. Well, none of our brains really can. I think we talked about this before. It comes down to can you work on something by itself one at a time? Can you then separate your mind into different categories to be able to play them all at the same time? Coordination, right? And interdependence. You know, one teacher once said to me, I don't like the term independence. Independence means that, oh, I can go like, woohoo, left arm here, right arm there, left leg there, right leg there. It's like that's actually not how we're supposed to play as drummers. He said, instead, I choose to use the term interdependence, because interdependence means that the limbs have to learn how to work with one another, so you know how to play the beat exactly how you want to every single time, or for whatever song you're playing, right? So it looks intense. And does it mess with your breathing? And sometimes it does when I do the fiddle. And sometimes it does. This is something I had to talk about with my students. Good question. Because, and I don't know what it's like for the fiddle. I don't know what it's like for the fiddle, but I do know that it's like when you, one of my students, when they play a song, when they play a beat, they go like, they pretend I'm on the drum set, right? They go like, I'm like, breathe, man. Okay. Like, so they start holding their breath, and I'm thinking there's a little bit of a rhythm that you need to develop when you do play, because as your beats get more complicated, and as they, let's see, it'd be so much better to demonstrate at work because the drums here don't sound that good. The fills especially make a person want to hold their breath. But if maybe I'll put this down. Next time when we're at work, I'll be able to show you what it's like when you hold your breath and you play a fill, a nasty fill, you know, something crazy. And it works, but then again, you don't feel as relaxed as if you could just learn how to breathe through that fill. To crash, right? Or whatever it is that you want to do. So it's yeah, it's tough. You got to learn how to breathe too. Exactly. You start getting stiff, and if you start getting stiff, what do you sound like? You don't sound that good. Your melody sounds stiff, right? So exactly. You know what? It's exactly like that. You know, because it's you. Enough said. You're exactly right. It's the same thing. Don't hold your breath through the stretch. You breathe through the stretch, man. What are you doing? Yeah. So sometimes, yeah, it's tough, but you gotta work. And I know PA Brew News. I think you play. You said a couple days ago when we were on the live stream before. You play guitar, and was there another instrument that you also play? I forget. And I bet it's the same thing, right? You have to kind of relax your hand as you're picking, right? You got to relax your left hand as you're trying to finger all the notes, right? It's probably a lot of the same kind of thing. You don't stop breathing up here. You know, keep all this, you know, nice and fluid, right? Yeah, synth guitar and bass, and it's yeah. Every instrument has its difficulties, but yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. All right, so let's see if we can wrap this up and bring this home. thank you again so much to you guys for joining me. I really appreciate the help and support. It's been fun talking to you guys. Really, really fun. And I hope you guys had a good time as well. Now, we're going to hopefully do, again, one more stream tomorrow, and we might even do one on Saturday. We might do some more practicing, but I do want us to talk about what kind of music we like to listen to and what makes that so fun, you know. And again, if you have any requests like Catalina did about any Phil Wickham songs, let me know, and we can do, I'm going to put something in the post. And so if you have any comments or suggestions, you can post beneath mine. You can comment, and you guys can leave something that you want to talk about. Really, we could talk. I mean, I could talk for hours on end on history of, you know, how rock and roll developed. You know, all the influences that influenced me. But I want to learn more from you guys. What kind of influences do you guys love, and what you don't love? You know, what has happened over the past 30 years has been insane. I feel like now we're seeing a resurgence of some types of music that we haven't seen for a while, which might be a good thing. And I'm not sure yet as to what the other half of that might be, the other half of the equation. Because sometimes when you do something new again, you lose something from the prior time that you did it before. It's like, oh, it's new, it's repackaged, and yeah, that sounds great, but what happens to the original sound? Well, that's buried back in 1975. We're not going to go there anymore. Well, wait a minute. You know, there's some good bands back there that we maybe need to talk about. I don't know. So, stuff like that. I'm glad it's fun. It's so nice to, yeah, likewise, to talk to a like-minded person, like-minded beliefs, and also just like-minded taste, right? And we try to cover a bunch of different topics, so it's not just about Gen Zers who grew up reading a bunch of books and music. You know, it's about a lot of different stuff, and I'm glad we get to touch on them here. So again, if you have any comments or suggestions, you know, please put them in the post that I'll put up as soon as we're done here about what we're gonna do, you know, for Friday tomorrow and on Saturday, and then on Sunday it's the Lord's Day, so you know we take a break from stuff, but then hopefully we'll come back on Monday. With that in mind, let me just say again, thank you to everyone who commented, and well, except for the guy who said he likes to eat. It's, weird. He said he likes to eat buses. I'm gonna have to put some moderation in this chat because that's a little bit insane. Come on, man. No spamming, you know, stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad we could touch on some beats. I'm glad we could touch on some rudiments. You guys join me there. Yeah, so I think we're gonna wrap it up now, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great. Well, we need to talk about this tomorrow. You know, for the 4th of July, there's a lot there. We can talk about the rabbit trails that we were on today, Catalina, tomorrow, and talk about some of the stuff that influences the way that I think drummers still think today. Stick Control and Jay Souza, the old stuffy book from the 1930s, has a drummer from the Revolutionary War pictured on the front, so drummers understand this is what old timers have been practicing for centuries. Now, we can kind of delve into politics, I guess, if we wanted to, because it's the 250th. It's like an exception. But I do want to touch on American history and how that affects music and the American culture that we live in today. So it's been 250 years. Can you believe that? But until next time, have a great rest of your day. God bless you guys, and thank you again so much. Let's keep rocking. Let's keep rocking, and let's keep having fun. Man. We got so much to talk about. You too. Thanks for the. All right. Sounds great. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Yeah. Take care. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.